this is Taten. As always, welcome to the TNA Plus Show. I'm joined by my co-host. He's the one and only. He's the star of the show, and he allegedly has no relation to Steve Macklin. He's the one and only Burt Macklin.
How's it going?
It's going good. All right, so we got some news that we got to talk about. It was announced tonight during TNA's Impact that a TNA Unbreakable is coming back after nearly 20 years after the first one aired. I know the last one was in 2019, but still, like, it's been a while since we've had TNA Unbreakable. It's going to be at Las Vegas April 17th at Cox Stadium. So that's some huge news. I was not expecting that, especially a lot of people were speculating if TNA was going to do anything during WrestleMania, considering they have Rebellion like a week later and here in LA. So what are your thoughts on this announcement?
Well, I was reading about it. I had no idea that the first Unbreakable had the legendary triple threat match between AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe. So right off the bat, I'm thinking that since the 20-year anniversary, maybe we get someone from NXT as well. But that part of it doesn't matter. But we need some sort of legendary triple threat to pay homage to that. So I would like to see a match. I would like to see a match like that.
Yeah, I understand. Let me see. Cox Pavilion in Vegas. This way it's bigger than Palms. Oh yeah, way bigger. I think that's in the University of Las Vegas.
Oh, I think I saw that. Is it UNLV's campus?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
TNA making strides.
And yes, and obviously, as you mentioned, everyone should know, I would assume, that is WrestleMania weekend, along with, obviously, WWE being there for 2 nights. I'm assuming they're running Raw probably on Monday as well, or SmackDown on Friday. But a lot of promotions will be there as well, including NXT, so that just adds to it who could potentially be there.
I hope it's a good point. I think they'll do something to honor that historic triple threat. Also, 30 TNA talent in town that week. I do think the X Division, an Ultimate X for the X Division title should main event in honor of that historic triple threat. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe. An incredible match. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. I was expecting more of a Worlds Collide pay-per-view. I felt like it would have been a perfect opportunity, but maybe we're getting that at Full Sail next week.
I don't think necessarily you need to, now that there's an established partnership, I don't think you need to come out and say or necessarily call a show that, or announce that it's going to be a joint show, just because, like I said, it's possible, obviously they can announce matches beforehand, but with the partnership, anything's possible, especially during that week. And I would guarantee there'll be some sort of NXT/WWE presence there at the show.
I think so. But nevertheless, I'm super excited. I cannot wait. It should be a great show. Makes me sad that I'm not going to WrestleMania week, but those WrestleMania tickets, they were just really expensive.
And I wonder if it's going, since it is on Thursday, I wonder if this is going to be a TV special, if it's going to run as a TNA Plus special, or is it going, or a pay-per-view. I'm interested in that because it is going to be live. So,
good question because it's a Plus special. Okay, so I'm assuming it's going to go like 3 hours and no commercial breaks.
And I wonder what time, if it will be during the day or if it'll be at night.
Probably 4.
Yeah,
4
but
PM.
That's cool. So again, it'll be live. So it's WrestleMania weekend. I would expect some sort of surprise.
Same here.
Maybe even a few.
Maybe AJ Styles finally shows up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is another obvious opportunity if they're gonna do something with AJ Styles. It seems perfect. He'll be in town, but who knows? I don't know how many days till WrestleMania.
WrestleMania is April 19th and 20th.
Do you know, I was just wondering if that is 90 days, if any of the releases 90 days will be up by then, or if no.
Very unlikely.
Okay, yeah. I know a few of them didn't have a 90-day. The ones that were just contracts weren't renewed. I don't know those names off the top of my head, but
And
you know,
Sonya Deville's one.
there's always chance that any of them could show up.
Yeah, true that. We're gonna get old waiting for AJ Styles to come back.
I'm one of those people who I don't necessarily I don't think it's likely that he comes back for a match, and I also don't think that it's necessary that he does. He's gonna come back for the Hall of Fame, but I don't necessarily need him to have a match in TNA. I've seen him have matches in TNA.
I also 64 days so many. Oh, I guess that answers your question. We're not getting a 90-day non-compete. A surprise. All right. So let's talk about the main event, which ended up being Eric Young versus Josh Alexander. This is Josh Alexander's possible final TNA match because we don't know if he's going to stay or if he's going to leave. We need Styles for Slammiversary, in my opinion. True that. As we all know, Josh Alexander had revealed on the Chris Van Vliet show that his contract is expiring on February 15th, which is the day of NXT Vengeance Day. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention it. Io mentioning the good news, Chris Bay, he's able to walk. So I'm so happy to hear that Chris Bay is able to walk.
I was tearing up when I saw that, and I think a lot of people were as well, I would bet. So
Same.
Yeah, what great news.
Yeah, I was so happy, Chris Bay, to hear that news. It's like after that scary injury, like it was great.
Real quick, back to Io's point. When Io puts it, the AJ Styles Slammiversary, when he puts it that way, because yes, technically I think that is the biggest venue they've booked in some time, and I don't, they're gonna book. It's already booked. Yes, that would go a long way to helping pack that building if they were to get AJ Styles in some sort of dream match with somebody currently in TNA. So yeah, now when he puts it like that, yeah, that would be nice.
That's true. It would be. All right, so let's get back to the topic of Josh Alexander. We don't know if he's staying. We don't know if he's leaving. It sounds like he's more than likely leaving, but this was his final match, and he went out with a bang. Yes, he lost. Eric Young cheated. But overall, I thought this was a really great match. I think that, as always, Josh Alexander knocked it out of the park. And wherever he goes, wherever he ends up, he'll definitely be a fantastic addition. He is such a tremendous wrestler. And I really, even though I wasn't watching TNA when he first came in, I started watching, I said this before, I started watching July of 2020, so I've only been watching almost 5 years. I got to witness the rise of Josh Alexander. Like I witnessed the ending of the North and the rise of Josh Alexander, and it's been one hell of a ride from his X Division title reign to being the longest reigning TNA champion. It's a shame that it ended the way that it did with him relinquishing the belt. And again, reiterate that he was never beaten for that belt. But overall, I think he had a tremendous run in TNA. From his, incredible storyline with Moose. He had some fantastic matches, and wherever he goes, I wish him well.
It's interesting just because I really can't remember, like the way that I can't remember a time when a wrestler was. I could see this happening like in the indies, like a wrestler kind of announcing that he's leaving and like not saying where he's going, but the fans kind of knowing. And we don't know where he's going now, but it's just weird that a wrestler announcing he's leaving. Now he's not retiring; he's just leaving that company. I also, and then the way he got beat tonight, and then I think he put out like a message earlier this week. I forget who posted it, but saying something like if he does stay in TNA, he wants to go after the world title. It almost I'm just the way he was pinned tonight. I think there's a chance that he could be back.
You think?
Maybe not immediately, but I think that there's more. I think we see him wrestle back in TNA sooner than we see Jordan. Even though I think Jordan will come back to TNA eventually as well at some point later down the line. But I don't know. It just kind of feels like Josh might not be done.
So you think this is I'll see you later than a goodbye?
Yeah, because let's like really like talk real talk. We both watch pretty much all three promotions and the other two that he could go to. I just let's say he goes to AEW. I don't see him then pushing him over anybody currently, even though they could. He deserves, you know what I mean? He is one of the top wrestlers. And then let's say he goes to WWE. Yes, there's always there's always like, oh, they could reunite the North. There's history there. But then there's in TNA, and like, yes, there's people say, oh, so and so's done everything they could there. But I just don't think that anywhere is going to push him as a singles guy currently right now as strong as TNA will. So, and I don't know if wrestlers think about that kind of thing as much as fans do. I would think that part of them, whoever's going to pay them as much, because money does matter. But I just think TNA, especially TNA, is doing bigger things this year, and they continue to be, you know what I mean? And Josh helped them get to this point. So I think it is a possibility he could stay.
Joseph says, I think it's a goodbye for now. He was with TNA for 6 years. What else can he do? If WWE wants to continue to shock us, Josh could already be in DC waiting to debut at Vengeance on Saturday. That's true.
I don't see, if WWE signs him, I don't see him going straight to the main roster. Oh, well, yeah, Vengeance Day is NXT. Yeah, okay, because I do see him going to NXT first. That's true. He could already be signed.
Yeah, I guess we have to wait and see. But nevertheless, thank you, Josh, for carrying TNA and for everything that you've done for TNA. Thank you so much. We wish you well. And one last thing, I will never forget being there live at Bound for Glory. That was actually my first TNA show at Bound for Glory 2023, or when the one where he beat Christian Cage and then Moose robbed him of the title. I will never
that kind of
forget
started,
that.
yeah. And as for this match, and you said that was 2023?
No. I think it was 2021. My bad. I got my dates confused.
Okay. As for this match, I think Eric Young needed to win just because to kind of start this new faction. And like, I like how during the match, Hannafin had a line saying something like, oh, this is by design.
Yeah.
No pun intended. I like that. So yeah, I do think just because now, Eric Young can he'd already alluded to that he's the one that got rid of Josh. So yeah, he needed to win.
Yeah. Oh, Bound for Glory 2021. My bad. I got my dates confused. I don't know why I said 2023. Joseph says, Josh did a great job of carrying TNA during the pandemic. That was a lot probably for him. 1 year into TNA, everything hits a wall. Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I hate to see him go, but TNA will be fine. They got Mike Santana, they got Mustafa Ali. They'll be fine.
And I'm assuming that they'll at least get one of these people that WWE released. So
yeah, exactly. All right. Any final thoughts you want to say on Josh Alexander before we get into tonight's show?
No. Yeah, like everything you said, I agree with. Thank you for everything he's done. And again, TNA will be fine. They always will be.
Mm-hmm. All right, so tonight's Impact kicked off with the TNA World Title match, Jake Something versus Joe Hendry. I have to say, I was really surprised by how evenly matched they were. I thought that Jake something was much bigger built than Joe Henry, but I was really surprised that they were pretty much equal here this entire match.
This was a good match, although I don't think it was the better of the 2 world title matches. We'll talk about that later. This was a good match. I think the last image of Joe Henry getting Jake up for the standing ovation. Just Joe Henry can always does something where in a match where I'm like, oh damn, I forget how strong he is. But this is a good match.
Antonio says, hey. Yeah, it really was a good match. I liked it. I just, I definitely would like for Jake something to win some type of gold because he's really, really good. Really sad that his pairing with Hammerstone ended prematurely, but that's because Hammerstone got injured. But, honestly, like, Jake something really doesn't need to be in a tag team.
I don't think that ended. I think this is just, once again, a couple things that have happened to him just maybe have kind of been out of Jake's hands, whether it's injury or injury to someone else. So, and this time I think they still plan on doing that team. So I think, and I don't think that injury was that serious. If I remember Hammerstone talking, or when he was talking about it, or he was hoping it wasn't that serious. So I think that team will be back as soon as he's back. I just think they're, you know what I mean? Like I said, I think last week, Joe needed a good first contender. And we're going to do anybody who's got a title shot or who is right there. They needed somebody, you wouldn't think of. So this was fine. Overall, I think Jake will be back with Hammerstone eventually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, it says, great match. I was shocked how close it was. Great defense from Joe. Antonio says, this company lost AJ Styles and is still around. That's true. They'll be all right. I still think they're going to get a streaming deal. We're still holding out for that TV deal. If I was them, I would go at Elektra Lopez or have Maria manage Jake. I think the plan for him was to have Hammerstone turn on him and him become a face, and then unfortunately Hammerstone got hurt, and that was a setback for Jake. I don't know about Hammerstone turning on him. I'd like Hammer something.
But Jake something getting the manager is not a bad idea. Even if you have a manager manage both of them as a team, that's not a bad idea.
Nope, it's not. Oh, okay. And then at the end, Ryan Nemeth being annoying as always. He's like, my brother. That's gonna be his catchphrase. Okay, my brother. He was like,
that needs to be on a shirt. That needs to be on a shirt. His face that needs to be on a shirt.
I would buy that shirt. It says the picture. I would buy that shirt with the picture of Ryan saying, my brother. Okay. So he says he basically called out Hendry and saying that, his brother's sick of Hendry. He's not a real champion. He's nothing but a fraud. And, they get into a little shuffle here, but before anything happens, Ryan, the less talented Owen to Nick's Brett. That's true. Santino Marella comes out, and he tries to, keep the peace. Nick Nemeth also comes out because, he's defending his brother from Jake something. And he accidentally super kicks Santino Marella. And then backstage, Santino suspends Nick Nemeth for 4 weeks without pay. And Ryan tries to get Marella suspended. So this is an interesting dynamic. This is the second time that Nick Nemeth has accidentally kicked somebody. So what's going on here, you think?
Would 4 weeks be right? A little right before Sacrifice?
I think so. For Sacrifice is March. Hold on. March 9th, I think. No, March 13th or 14th. March 14th, Sacrifice.
So he would be, I think he'd probably come back Sacrifice. Probably have some sort of, surprise appearance, I would think, because that would probably be right at 4 weeks. So he probably wouldn't have an advertised match unless they maybe book a match on Thursday because it's probably a Friday show. I think this is kind of the first. I mean, I think this is not the first, but this just adds to the heel turn of the seeds being planted.
Yeah,
I think we'll get the full turn when he comes back.
I could definitely see that happening.
It needs to happen now, just because, like you said, it's the second time he super kicked somebody.
Accidentally, I might add.
It's getting he's starting to get heat because of Ryan. So that's a perfect time to make him to turn him heel.
Unless it's gonna lead to brother versus brother.
I don't think anybody wants to see that. Not because they don't want to see them feud. I think it's because nobody wants to see that match.
I think we will learn at some point that Ryan hired JBL because he wants to be the one who beats his brother to become TNA World Champion. But Joe Hendry screwed that up. Plans. Okay, that's plausible, but we just gotta wait and see how this plays out. Next, we get Heather and Ash by Elegance versus King Bees, Dani B and Jodie King. I don't know much about the King Bees here. This is actually the first time I see them wrestle, and they're actually pretty good. I didn't think they were bad. They got some offense in. This wasn't a squash match, but it's no surprise Ash and Heather win. And then at the end, Ash and Heather, paying homage to the beautiful people, give the King Bees a makeover, and Spitfire comes out. So basically, that tells me this feud with Spitfire is not over.
Which is a little disappointing, just because they should move on from that. But it's fine, just because the way that this match went, and then obviously it tells me that they're still playing and putting the titles on Elegance brand. So I'm fine with that, because that's what it should have happened before.
I will say we have one more. In my opinion, the next time they face each other, they have to put the titles on Ash and Heather by Elegance. And now we got to move on.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Apparently, they were NWA Women's Tag Team Champions. I don't watch NWA, but apparently they were. Somebody said that in the chat. King Bees are Dani B and Charity King for former NWA and Mission Pro Tag Team Champions. They're a great team that TNA should sign. Was a very interesting choice. They were the ones that made Elegance brand look good. Yeah, that's true. There should be a stipulation in their tag match. Like what?
What was it? What did Io say?
There should be a stipulation in their tag match.
I did not know they also wrestled for Mission Pro, which I believe is
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, so that they're definitely worth taking a look at. And obviously former NWA Tag Team Champions. Yeah. But yeah, the stipulation, like a stipulation to like the match, like if they have it Ash by against versus Spitfire again. Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah, they should. Honestly, I agree.
If they don't win, if they don't win, they can't challenge for the titles as long as Spitfire are the champions. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
So then they have to win.
Okay, so we get at the first Leon Slater segment, and this is basically just the Hardys praising and putting over Leon Slater, saying that that they want to thank him for last week and that they enjoy teaming with him. And Leon Slater basically said it was a pleasure teaming with them, and he would do it again. So this was a good match. Just like I said, this was a feel good. They're just putting him over.
Love this, yeah.
Same. This was really good. I liked it. Leon started wrestling at 9 years old. Let that sink in. Yeah, 9. Even Matt was like, damn, you were younger than us. We were 9 and 12. We were 12 and 15, I think he said. Yeah, 12 and 15. It's like, oh, 9? Is that even legal? Is that even legal? Oh, I forget he's British. So they must have other laws. I don't know how that's possible. Okay. Speaking of Mustafa Ali segment, I have to say I really, really like this segment because no, let me see. No, it ain't, but it was in the UK. That's true, yeah. Because he's 20 years old, he ain't 21 yet, so that's 2014.
Because of this segment, I'm already I'm sorry to say to the system that they're no longer my favorite faction. This is my new favorite faction. I don't know if they're called the Cabinet yet, but this is my favorite faction.
This is hilarious. Jeff Hardy had to lie about his age at one point. Oh, okay. That made sense. The one of the reasons why I like this, because you can't see who they're talking to. You can only see the Mustafa Ali in the cabinet, and he's like thanking everybody for coming to the town hall meeting. And now the Good Hands got a new nickname. They're now the Great Hands. And Tasha Steele is his press secretary.
This is good.
Yeah, this is really good.
This is great.
He starts talking about how he is rightfully the number one contender for the TNA title. And he's saying all those in favor say aye. But the thing that makes this so hilarious is the fact that when Tommy Dreamer comes out and it pans to the audience, like there's nobody there. I don't know who he was talking to, but there was nobody there. All you see is like Mike Santana. You see some people like kind of like scattered in the back. And Dreamer like points to Santana, and like Tasha's just like, no, they're done. So I thought this was pretty hilarious. And I like the way it was filmed.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
I was saying, Bert was saying, I in the back. You were in the back?
I was going to say that I was. I stood up and said I because, yes, this is your next TNA World Champion after the other two people we said. So maybe like at the end of the year, let's bring back Bound for Glory tournament, have Ali win it. And then obviously it's right there. Who happens to be there? Santana, who we have said is going to be champion by Slammiversary. We've already got a feud starting right here. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, and again, this is much better than last time. It's because it seemed we know Ali's signed now. So we put a good, strong faction behind him. I love that he brought Tasha Steeles in just because we've talked about how they need to do more with Tasha. You are always talking about we need a good hands tag team title reign. I think this is where we're going to finally get it. Just because in a faction, you know what I mean? Like you tend to build a way to make a faction look strong is to give them as much gold as possible. So yeah, I really do like this. Because everybody in this faction needed more, and we're gonna get it. So,
I got what he meant. You were saying all those when you were saying all those.
Yeah, like yeah. Oh yeah, I stood up too.
I'm like, who's he talking to? There was nobody there. Oh my god!
And Ollie's under that category of somebody who fits TNA. So I think people like that, they always tend to push really strong. So
I have to say, I do agree with you. I really hope that the Good Hands become the Great Hands, that it leads to a TNA tag team title run. I've always said this, and I will continue to say it. The Great Hands are really underrated. They're really underrated. They're actually a really great tag team. If you can get, if you put them against a good team and you let them go, they're a really great tag team. Jason Hotch himself, like by himself, is amazing. They're so underrated and so underappreciated. I really hope they get a tag team title run, even if it's just for like you win at, I don't know, Slammiversary, and you hold the titles till the next show.
Yeah, not everybody needs a Roman Reigns 3-year long title reign. You know what I mean? I'm not. There's mediums, like a happy medium, a couple, 3 months, 4 months.
This will be time. be times better than JBL's cabinet. Now, First Lady Tasha Steelz could make an impact in the Knockouts division, yeah? Jason Hodge is just as talented as any other exhibition wrestlers we see. Yeah, exactly. So, but this was good. This was good. And obviously, stuff is not over between Mustafa Ali and Mike Santana. I definitely can see this feud being reignited, especially after Mike Santana wins the TNA title in his home state of New York. All right. So next we get we're supposed to get Sami Callihan versus Frankie Kazarian. But as we see, Sami Callihan is attacked by Mance Warner. And even though Sami Callihan decides to start this match, thanks to Mance Warner, he loses because he causes a distraction. He gets placed in the chicken wing, and Frankie Kazarian wins by submission. And then Sami calls out Mance Warner, and they keep fighting, and the security separates Sami and Mance Warner. But then Sami charges at him. So
I wonder how long SDL is away from being cleared to compete, because I'm just fantasy booking, but I think a great way to potentially bring in Indy with Hartwell would be if having their gender match, Sami brings her in as a surprise teammate, kind of teases it. He's going to bring in somebody who knows SDL. But again, I don't know how long she is away from competing. But I do like this feud with Mance and Sami continuing. Just because I feel, I don't necessarily, I haven't said anything, but if it leads to some sort of hardcore match, that's right up both these guys' alleys. So, yeah, I do like this continuing.
Definitely. I'm very curious to see where it goes. I do think it's going to involve the digital media title at some point. Okay. Shout out to the sign guy in the crowd with the cast smells like booze and failure. That was hilarious. Oh, I didn't see that. I gotta go back and try to see if I can find it. Okay. Next, we get a Josh Alexander interview, his final interview in TNA, or question mark, because again, we don't know if he's leaving, but I think more than likely he is. He's talking about how he said it's over, but he's happy it happened. And he's going to show Arianna and the world how much TNA means to him, and will show that TNA is the best company in the world, and it's time to let actions speak louder than words. So, honestly, really like this by Josh Alexander. This was his last interview in TNA, and I think this was good. Even though it was your run-of-the-mill Josh Alexander babyface promo here, it was still really good.
And yeah, if TNA is the best company in the world, why is he leaving it? And so where is he going to? And then who are the second and the third best? That, you know what I mean? Why is he going there? So I don't think he's done with TNA completely.
Glad Josh got to say goodbye. I could see Santino signing Sami for Steph versus Steph for that title. As Steph says she's the digital media champion. She did say she won that title in the divorce. So
I still think what they're gonna do is, or I'd like them to do, is have a bunch of people challenge Steph, like a bunch of guys like Sami, and then before they get to the ring, Mance attacks them, throws them in the ring, and SDL pins them. I think that'd be a good way to keep, even though you could argue, how's that any better than what PCO was doing? It's not, but at least it's doing something different while keeping the belt on TV as opposed to when it wasn't on TV.
Yeah. They gotta do something with the digital media title. I don't want to sound like a broken record, Where
they're doing something now, though. And they just started doing it, so I'm giving it time.
Same. All right, we got another Leon Slater segment. This time it involves JDC, and JDC's just trying to tell Leon Slater that the Hardys are just using him. He keeps calling him kid, which upsets which upsets Leon Slater himself. And basically, I like the fact that he calls JDC a ballroom dancer, but basically this is setting up a no DQ match next week. And Cody Dean was kind of just lurking in the background, which I thought was interesting.
I didn't notice that until I checked. Someone posted that on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need him out there with his minus charisma, trying to and causing the fans to cheer something to ruin the match. You know what I mean? To get him, get him in trouble or what? I don't know what they're doing with that. He doesn't need to be involved in this.
Yeah, but it definitely seems like they're trying to entice Leon Slater to come over to the system. So
it seems like that.
Yeah. All right. We get Xia Brookside versus Cora Jade, which is actually a really good match. I like this. Cora Jade getting the big win over Xia Brookside. You know, she still has her eyes set on that knockout title and against Masha Slamovich. So, but aside from that, I thought this was a really great showing by Cora Jade.
I think it's very telling, and I think it's smart how well they're booking women from NXT, just because that's the area that TNA needs the most. So I like this. This was a very competitive match. It's not like Xia went out there and got squashed. This was good.
Yep. Next we get Tessa Blanchard and Arianna Grace. Tessa asks Arianna Grace, what is she doing there? And you know, Santino Marella interrupts and saying, well, this is garbage. Basically making it sound, basically he's threatening her and saying that, you know, it's that she's gonna have a match next week. And Tessa mocks him, saying, what's he gonna do? Suspend her, fire her? But you know, Santino's willing to put his foot down. He says there's gonna be consequences. So I wonder who she's gonna face next week.
Good chance it could be from someone from NXT. Next week is the Full Sail show, correct?
Yeah.
So, again, it's a live show.
Yes.
So, that, again, I was trying to make it feel big, feel a little bit larger, largest, you know what I mean, than just a regular show. Hopefully this is it's not a squash man. Hopefully it's a big time opponent. So
yeah, I'm hoping it is.
Even though I'm not the biggest Tessa fan, I still want this to be a good match.
Yeah, like maybe it's someone from NXT. I'm hoping it's someone from NXT.
Maybe one of Arianna's best friends. One of her closest friends.
Yeah, one of her million besties.
Yeah, she has. Well, that's why this was upsetting. I don't know why she's got to be mean. Tessa's got to be mean to her.
You're funny.
And Santino did snap. I haven't seen him angry like that in a while.
That's because that's his real life daughter there.
Well, and he also he was pissed. You know, he got kicked by the Nemeth brothers, and then the lesser Nemeth brothers sitting there talking.
Yeah. Well, he did suspend Nick Nemeth. Okay. All right, so we get the Rascalz segment, and basically, let me see. Joe Harry gives us another counter too due to being called out by our champion. Who's due to be called out by our champion. Oh, okay. Yeah. An encore presentation. I cannot wait for that. You know, Joe Henry concerts are incredible. But anywho, back to the segment. The Rascalz, you know, they mentioned Ace Austin and about how he's got their back. They call out Tyson and Tyreek, and this basically leads to a brawl between the Rascalz, Ace Austin, and Tyson, Tyreek, and Wes /Dez here. So we get a tag match next week, but I'm surprised you haven't gotten the 6-man tag match yet. I think that's where we're heading here, a 6-man tag match.
I think that will be one of the Mania matches. The Mania week match, it's the Unbreakable show.
Unbreakable? I can see that happening. Yeah, because we're getting the tag team match at Full Sail, which makes sense. So, I can see that, a 6-man tag match. Yeah, either Unbreakable or Stand and Deliver. Yep. Okay.
When Stand and Deliver?
April 19th.
Okay.
Okay, we get a First Class promo, and they're basically talking about how they have a big money announcement, and that they're gonna time to upgrade TNA from First Class. To First Class, and if you ain't First Class, you're last. I have to say, like, I wonder what's next for First Class. Like, there's another tag team that I definitely would like for them to have a run with the tag team titles.
I think they're going to be the ones to beat the Hardys. I think that's the plan now. Whether that's wherever that is, I would like to maybe say Revolution, just because that's like the next big show. That's the next pay-per-view, right?
You mean Rebellion?
All the rest of I always do this. Rebellion, yeah. That's the next pay-per-view, right? There, all the rest are specials.
Yeah. That's
okay.
The next
So,
pay-per-view.
yeah, and that's a big time show. I would like to see them get the tag team title, just cause, like I've been saying, I don't know anybody else who would benefit more from beating the Hardys or who needs it. So yeah, these should be the next tag team champions.
I agree. And hopefully they do. All right, so we get the Knockouts title matches, Savannah Evans versus Masha Slamovich. I have to say, Savannah Evans looked great out there. Like, the way that TNA has been building her up since she returned from her hiatus, like, I think it's been great. She looked really good out there. She looked like a beast.
This is her best match in TNA.
Yeah.
They made her look like a monster out there. Somebody who could be TNA world champion. So yeah, this was great. Like I said, this was better than the Hendry match. This is really good.
Oh yeah, and Savannah Evans looked really good in this match.
Yeah, she did. No, she did. Like, there were many times where I thought, oh man, she's gonna beat Masha, and that's like what you're supposed to do. Like, you need to make challengers. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone thought Masha was gonna lose, but you need to make it seem like Masha could have lost, and that's what they did.
Yeah, this is really great. I actually really like this match. But like we said, it's no surprise Masha Slamovich retained. I was expecting it. I didn't think Savannah Evans stood a chance. But we're going to go ahead and stop there because we talked about the main event, which is Josh Alexander's final match. So, do you have anything else you want to say or add?
Well, we didn't talk about the Kazarian segment.
What was the Kazarian segment?
I believe he came out with his trophy. I thought he had a match with somebody.
Yeah, we did talk about it. Sami Callihan.
Okay, well, we didn't talk because Kazarian. This had the moment of the night where Kazarian picked up Hanafan's water bottle and threw it. I just like Kazarian constantly trolling Hanafan. It's funny to me.
It is. I even said Savannah's best showing. Indeed, yeah, for sure, it was her best showing.
Yeah.
All right. Where can people find you as we get ready to sign off?
Just on Twitter, BurtMacklin11.
All right, you can follow me at Twitter _. I talk Raw, SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, of course, TNA Impact. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays, and of course, for all things TNA, you can catch me here on Body Slam every Thursday. I was right. Next week, Full Sail should be very interesting. Definitely should be. Whenever we're gonna see worlds collide, we just gotta wait and see. But before we sign off, just want to say one last thank you to Josh Alexander, and wherever he ends up. Like I said earlier, he's gonna be an amazing addition to any roster. Best of luck. I hope we see him again. And
Definitely.
he definitely was a cornerstone of TNA for the last couple years, and he definitely deserved to ride off into the sunset, from TNA.
And yeah, he's in the long line of those people who, if he goes to somewhere else and they're mentioning all his accolades, and they'll talk about what he did in TNA and just be the long list of great people who have went on from TNA to other promotions. The list is long.
I wish I could have seen this. I was told the roster came out after the match and hugged and congratulated Josh. Oh wow, I would have shed some tears if I would have seen that. Alrighty then. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and for continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever we go live or release a new video. And we'll see you guys next week as TNA goes live from Full Sail. Bye.